Alright, so I've had a few people ask me about the build that I've been running for the DLC on New Game Plus 5. I ran through the DLC pretty quick on New Game Plus 4, so I decided to slow down a little bit on this one and actually play with some of the DLC weapons. I've used the Putrescence Axe a little bit in the main game and a little bit in the DLC, but I really do like dexterity builds personally, and I just decided to go with a dexterity build again. So this is kind of what I'm running here. I've got Dane's Blood Footwork plus 25 with the Dryleaf Whirlwind. I'll show you a little bit about what the Ash of War does. And then you've got just regular R1 and then R2 heavy attack combo, which is pretty nice too. And it seems like a lot of them it's a little bit different every attack, but it just does so much bleed build up damage due to the hits. As far as talismans, I do like to run the Great Shield Talisman just all the time, really, either that, and I also interchange it with Erdtree's Favor plus 2, just depending on the situation. So we'll go ahead and put that on. I was just fighting Mesmer, so that's why I had the Flame Drake Talisman on. A big part of this build is just swapping out like one or two defensive talismans for whatever boss you're fighting. But if I'm not running that, I'm usually running the Shattered Stone Talisman. Raises potency of kicking and stomping skills. So I'll have, a defensive talisman, or the Erdtree's Favor, and then this attack talisman, and then also this blood loss in the vicinity increases attack power. The Lord of Blood's Exaltation. It does really well with having the bleed build up with so many attacks. This one I like it because it boosts my dexterity, so it gives me just an overall better base damage. But it also raises attack power with successive attacks. You can also interchange really any of these with the Rotten Wing Sword Insignia. It's really good too. I've kind of swapped it and played around with it. They're all really good. As far as my flask, I run the Opaline Hard Tier, which just gives me an overall boost of damage negation. Never really had to run this in the main game, but really had to start being more defensive in my playstyle with the DLC, especially in higher New Game Pluses, because you take a lot of damage. The Thorny Crack Tier just temporarily boosts successive attack power, so it's just another thing that stacks on top of the successive attack powers. Talismans works really good. I have the Claw Mark Seal, plus 25. Just had it since the beginning of the main game. I really only use it just for Flame Grant Me Strength and Golden Vow, just to get a little bit more defense, a little bit more power. I'm not really running a whole lot of faith, only 25 faith, as you can see. I also keep the Great Katana in my left hand. I don't use it as my primary weapon, but I do like to swap to it sometimes, and that way I can, like, if I need to keep an enemy away from me, I can throw in, some of the Dane's footwork with R1, R2, and L2, but at the same time I can use L2 to, especially if enemies take more slashing damage or piercing damage, it works really good for that. But most of the time I just keep it on my back, honestly, just for looks, aesthetics. But it does come in use. I do use it. I actually had a friend start running this build before me. He just wasn't running the blood footwork with the Dryleaf Whirlwind. He was just running just the Dryleaf arts hand to hand, which that's still really good. I mean, I haven't upgraded it, but I've seen him play in his playthrough, and the Palm Blast is very effective. So you could also run something like that with this build. As far as gear wise, I do like running Okina's Mask just for the extra overall attack damage due to the boost in dexterity. You can really just swap this whole set out though if you really want to run like a glass cannon build. You can go find the Rakshasa armor. This armor is really good. Let's see if I can find it. I'm gonna put the whole set on real quick. This armor is really good because of a couple of things. Whoops. Alright, let's see here, because it increases damage dealt to foes, but it greatly increases damage taken by the wearer. I've seen a couple of videos on this, and a lot of people have said they haven't really noticed a whole lot of extra damage being taken to them. Some people were throwing it up as like a translation issue between Japanese and English. I think what a lot of people are saying is it's classified technically as a heavier set because it's lower down on the list of armors, um, but its resistances aren't very high, and neither are the damage negations like overall for it to be such a heavy set. So like the weight of the set is high, as you can see, 7.9 for the weight. But the damage negation and resistance are a lot lower compared to other, as you can see, other sets in the same class. Which probably what that really means, because I've used it and I haven't really noticed a whole lot of damage negation extra to me. But really, what I like to run, just because I like the aesthetic, I like the drip. The drip is key. I like running Ronin's armor altered. I really like it without the cape and the sword, the great katana. And then I've always loved Bull Goat's armor set, at least the gauntlets and the greaves, just because they kind of fit with any piece you really want to run. And then they also give you 59 poise with this setup. So it's pretty good. I keep the bow, Serpent's Bow. I really like it with some poison arrows as well as golden arrows. Just because I might run into situations where I need some holy or I want to proc poison with a bow. And it's just fun to play with a bow sometimes, especially like with mobs of enemies and such. So it comes in handy there. Also with the Serpent's Bow, which is found in Caelid, you can probably look up a guide to find that. It increases the amount of damage done by poison arrows or serpent arrows. So it's a really good all around, just medium range, heavy damage, heavy proc for poison bow. I really like it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I keep the hefty fly pots with me because if I do use my mimic, which I do, as you should, because the game gives it to you. I'll use the mimic, and I keep the hefty pots because the mimic will actually throw the pots, and it even helps proc more bleed than we're already doing. But yeah, it's pretty much just a Dex bleed build with a little bit of twist on it. Something other than Rivers of Blood or just straight sword. I'm really digging the hand-to-hand combat of the DLC. But yeah, that's pretty much my build that I've been running for the DLC. As you can see, I've just kind of been making my way slowly through it, just covering different areas. Really taking my time with this one, trying to find all the items, as much as I can without using a guide. I am using a guide a little bit on quest lines and stuff, just to make sure I don't miss anything this run through. But yeah, that's my build for Shadow of the Erdtree. It's been really fun. Hope you guys enjoy the video. I've been making a lot of content, so make sure to like and subscribe and follow. And check out some of my other, short boss clips and stuff. And if you guys have any questions about builds or, whatever you'd like to know about my build, anything I might have missed, just leave some comments. But yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. Check out my TikTok. Check out my YouTube. Trying to put out some good stuff. Maybe some helpful stuff, helpful information for people that might not know. That's it. Signing off.